$800 billion project will light up Africa and build a world of pride and power, showing Africa can lead with its own strength.
Good evening, viewers across the continent and around the world. Tonight, we begin with a story of power, real power, not just political influence or military might, but the kind of power that lights up homes, runs machines, keeps hospitals open, and fuels the dreams of a generation. And at the heart of this story is a name that has quickly risen to prominence across Africa, Captain Ibrahim, the president of Burkina Faso. But this is no ordinary presidential announcement. This is a seismic shift in Africa's energy landscape, a billion-dollar vision to transform not just Burkina Faso, but to electrify the entire region of West Africa. That's right. Is not talking about lighting a few cities or boosting power for government offices. He's talking about a pan-African power revolution, one that will reach villages, towns, farms, industries, and borders that have lived in darkness for far too long. And why is this significant? Because for decades, Africa's energy story has been written by outsiders. We've seen foreign companies extract our oil, gas, and uranium. We've seen Western-funded projects that serve foreign interests more than our people. We've seen international banks attach strings to every power project, leaving African nations in cycles of debt and dependency. But Captain is saying no more. He's taking back control, not just of resources, but of the future. His plan is rooted in a bold idea that Africa can power Africa, using its own sunlight, wind, rivers, and innovation with no need to beg or borrow, from solar mega farms in the Sahel to a shared West African energy grid, to green tech hubs led by youth, to the creation of a pan-African energy bank designed to free Africa from financial chains. This is not just about kilowatts. It's about kicking out colonial contracts, building real sovereignty, and giving power literal and symbolic back to the people, and he's not doing it alone. In recent months, we've seen Mali, Niger, Guinea, and even parts of Ghana showing interest in regional cooperation on power. The message is spreading. If we build it ourselves, we own it. If we own it, we control it. If we control it, we rise. Now, of course, there are critics. Some Western analysts call it too ambitious. Others say Burkina Faso lacks the capacity to lead such a bold initiative. But didn't they say the same when we sought independence? When Kwame Nkrumah dreamed of a united Africa? When Thomas Sankara called for self-reliance? History has taught us one thing. Every time Africa rises, someone says we're aiming too high. But today, Captain is aiming even higher, and he's inviting the rest of Africa to rise with him, because this is about more than electricity. It's about dignity. It's about opportunity. It's about taking our rightful place in the world, not as a continent waiting for help, but as a continent helping itself. So tonight, we begin this special coverage on Burkina Faso's energy revolution. We'll explore the vision, the technology, the partnerships, and the promise, and we'll ask the question the world can no longer ignore. What happens when Africa finally controls its own power? Stay with us.
Welcome to Talk of Africa 360, your source for insightful news, analysis, and thoughtful commentary. If you value informed perspectives and fact-based reporting, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss an update. Disclaimer: the content on this channel is based on reliable public sources and credible online information. It is intended strictly for educational and analytical purposes. We do not promote or endorse political violence, hate speech, or any form of discrimination. Our goal is to inform, not to inflame. Thanks for being here. Let's stay informed together.
Good evening, Africa, and good evening to the world watching us tonight. A revolution is unfolding in West Africa, and its architect is a man who has become a lightning rod for transformation and sovereignty across the continent, Captain Ibrahim Traoré, the president of Burkina Faso. But this time, it's not just about anti-colonial speeches or severing ties with foreign exploiters. No, this time, it's about something far more electrifying. Literally. Tonight, we bring you exclusive coverage on a story that's already sending ripples through the corridors of global power and lighting a torch of hope across African nations long kept in the dark. Captain Ibrahim Traoré's monumental plan to power all of West Africa. That's right, a bold, multinational, Pan-African energy revolution, fueled by ambition, innovation, and the unwavering belief that Africa can and must power itself. Let's start with this simple truth. Electricity is freedom. Without it, economies remain stagnant. Without it, hospitals can't function. Without it, students cannot learn at night. Without it, Africa cannot rise. And for far too long, Large parts of West Africa have remained trapped in energy poverty. Millions live without access to reliable power. Entire communities rely on diesel generators, firewood, or kerosene. Expensive, toxic, and unsustainable. Western companies came. They promised help. They brought in extractive deals, gas pipelines, power reforms wrapped in World Bank loans, and left behind debt, dependency, and darkness. But that era, says Captain Traoré, is over. Cut to clip of Captain Traoré speaking at a regional summit. Africa has the sun, the wind, the rivers, and the people. We don't need to beg for power. We only need to believe in ourselves and build. At the heart of this billion-dollar vision is a groundbreaking, multi-pillar strategy aimed at lighting up not just Burkina Faso, but all of West Africa, from Senegal to Nigeria, from Mali to Ghana. Let's break it down. Solar power on a continental scale. Burkina Faso, like much of the Sahel, is blessed with abundant sunshine. And Traoré plans to make the sun work overtime. In partnership with engineers, local cooperatives, and strategic partners from Asia and the Global South, Burkina Faso is rolling out a massive solar energy initiative that includes the construction of numerous solar microgrids across rural areas, a mega solar farm near Dori. Designed to export clean energy to neighboring countries, a pan-West African solar energy training institute to develop local experts and green jobs. No more dependency on Western oil. No more waiting for European-funded infrastructure that never arrives. Africa's sunlight will power Africa's future. A Sahelian supergrid. The plan includes the creation of a regional electricity transmission corridor that links Burkina Faso with Niger, Mali, Ghana, Benin, Togo, and even parts of coastal West Africa. This Sahelian supergrid will enable countries to share energy resources efficiently. So if one country has excess solar or hydro, it can be routed to another in need. Imagine this. Ghana's hydroelectricity flowing into the dry north, Burkina Faso's solar powering night schools in Togo, Nigeria's surplus feeding battery storage banks in Mali. It's not just infrastructure. It's integration. And it is African unity in action. Youth-led green innovation hubs. Captain Traoré's plan is deeply people-centered. And at the core of it is youth. He has pledged funding and land for the creation of green innovation hubs, technology parks, and labs where young Africans can experiment with renewable energy tech, solar-powered machinery, clean battery storage, energy-efficient construction. The idea? Turn Africa from a consumer of energy technologies into a producer and exporter. These hubs are set to create thousands of jobs and position West Africa as a leader in green tech solutions. Ending energy colonialism. Traoré has not minced words. He has openly criticized the exploitative contracts that have kept African nations paying foreign companies for basic power infrastructure. Many of these deals are signed in secrecy, structured in foreign courts, and backed by foreign banks. But under this new plan, Burkina Faso and its allies will renegotiate or terminate colonial energy deals that undermine sovereignty and sustainability. No more rent-a-grid. No more Western ownership of African electricity. A Pan-African Energy Bank. One of the boldest ideas in this entire plan is the creation of a Pan-African Energy Sovereignty Fund, a financial institution backed by West African nations, private investors from the Global South, and even African diasporas. This fund will finance renewable projects without IMF or World Bank conditions, offer affordable loans for rural electrification, build Africa's creditworthiness in green infrastructure. Traoré is in talks with leaders from Guinea, Mali, Niger, and Chad to become co-founders of this energy bank, proving once again that true independence begins with financial autonomy. Now let's take a moment to understand why this plan matters beyond power supply. Because electricity is not just a utility. It is a weapon of transformation. With power comes industrialization. Small factories and businesses can operate around the clock. Education. Students can study at night. Schools can use digital tools. Healthcare. Clinics can refrigerate vaccines and operate life-saving equipment. Food security. Solar irrigation systems can revolutionize agriculture. Digital access. With internet powered by local grids, e-commerce, and e-learning can flourish. In short, energy is the engine of development. And Traoré is lighting that engine with African fuel. Globe showing Europe, Africa, global reactions. Of course, a plan this bold has stirred reactions. Some Western media outlets have called it unrealistic or overambitious. But African youth, civil society, and energy experts are celebrating it as visionary. In a recent Pan-African poll, a large majority of respondents across several countries supported a regional energy project led by African nations without Western control. South Africa's former energy minister called the plan a blueprint for what the African Union should have done decades ago. Even some European environmental groups admit Traoré's plan is bold, but it's what climate justice looks like when led by those most affected. Megaphone, the bigger picture, what Captain Traoré is showing the world is this: Africa doesn't need handouts. It needs hands-on leadership. He is flipping the narrative from one of scarcity to one of abundance. Abundance of sun, abundance of youth, abundance of courage, and most importantly, abundance of vision. Presenter's voice softens. Closing segment. Tonight, somewhere in a village in Burkina Faso, a child is doing homework under a solar lamp. A farmer is irrigating crops with a solar-powered pump. A clinic is storing vaccines safely. And a young engineer is designing wind turbines made from recycled metal. These aren't future dreams. These are present realities, sparked by a leader who understands that true revolution begins not with rifles, but with renewables. Captain Ibrahim Traoré's billion-dollar energy vision is not just about powering West Africa. It's about empowering Africans to build, to dream, to rise. Because in the new Africa, we don't wait for the light. We create it. I'm your presenter, and this is Africa Unfiltered. Stay tuned, stay inspired, and never stop believing in Africa's power.
As reactions continue to pour in from across the continent, one thing is clear: Africa is demanding respect, sovereignty, and accountability. Was this just a diplomatic misstep or a deeper sign of shifting global alliances? We'll be watching closely. If you found this story important, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more real, unfiltered African news. This is Talk of Africa 360, telling the stories that matter.